Welcome to a continued discussion on habs and hangars in 3.3.5 and beyond. I am your host, Von Clutch, and in this video, we'll discuss the implications of the direction CIG plans on taking habs and hangars. You can join in the discussion by answering my theory crafting questions and by giving your thoughts in the comments below. Backers, we pay for the project. Let's share ideas. In the last video, I talked about what's happened with habs and hangars thus far in 2018, while channeling a bit of Super Troopers throughout the video. Yeah. Meow, were you able to count how many times I said a form of hab? I'll put a link at the top of the screen if you'd like to watch it first, and then come back here for a continued discussion, which is based off of a conversation I had in the comments with subscriber Captain Naz. We talked about how in the RTV, titled Persistent Universe Design, CIG revealed that habs and hangars are going to be rentable on planets and moons, and rental prices will be affected by supply and demand. In other words, the more people that want to live in an area, the higher the price.
And then at that point, you can get priced out, or people will move around the universe. Let's
dig deeper into this idea and take it a couple of steps further. Farther. No, that's distance, right? Further. Yeah, take it a couple of steps further. I'm not even going to edit this out so that an English teacher can correct me in the comments. Maybe like an English lit major who doesn't have to be at work waiting tables until tonight. I'm just playing, okay? I'm just playing. All right, I know. I worked in bars and restaurants for close to a decade, slinging whiskey in clubs. I know how many of us weren't using our degrees for a while, and there were a lot of people with a bachelor's of fine arts in there. I'm just saying. Sorry. All right. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to take this a couple of steps further. First, Hurston is coming soon, and probably sooner than we thought. Chris Roberts announced that OCS will be the only build moving forward. Yes. Performance increases have been reported with triple-digit frames. Deep breath. Okay, don't get all super excited about it. Here's why. Even with OCS, I predict that performance gains will be mostly eaten up by all of the objects in Loreville. We will experience great frames in the middle of nowhere and then get a little hitchy, get a little choppy. It'll be a little chopped in, screwed, right? Number one, because it will be the new hotness and everyone will want to go there. Number two, because it looks system intensive. Think about how your performance takes a swift kick to the teeth the second you enter Levski in 3.2.2 and any time in the past. OCS will help, yet I believe it just enables us to feel some hope of what the game could feel like in beta and beyond. However, most performance gains will likely just be the key to unlocking heavier content in the future that really can't be played without OCS. That's just my opinion. Once server-side and client-side OCS are in play, different story. Then we can see how much geography and content can be added to the game. Now let's talk about how this affects habs and hangars. CR and the gang have mentioned that they have the real estate to make habs and hangars persistent.
We don't know if it's a good option yet.
Yeah, but we can afford to explore it.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it. We can look at it. We can, do test mock-ups of the ability to have, 500 at Loreville and then 500 at Microtech and then 500, and right. It's these kind of conversations that we need to have and we need to, think about, just because I know people want to be able to go in and personalize their stuff.
Most games would have to instance them, yet these planets are big, which means you could have persistent, rentable player homes and hangars. No OCS? Nightmare scenario. Probably wouldn't be able to move with most systems. With OCS, the game could stream objects only once a player moves within a certain proximity to things like other players' hangars and their habs, or the Bartertown district, as I like to call it, the train, things like that. And it's still going to be a lot of objects to stream, hence my predicted performance gains dissipating once they add all that extra content. So this brings me to my next point, persistent habs and hangars. Think about what that means for a second. You could rent a place to store your gear. Leave your in-game items there, log out. You could know that those items would be safe the next time you log in. What happens when you don't log in? How long can you go without logging in? They said that the habs and the hangars will be rentable, so it sounds like you have to pay in-game credits. Now, if you're not logged in, how do you pay those in-game credits? What if once you log in, you don't have enough credits to pay for the amount of time you've been logged out? Are they going to add some type of impound in-game run by NPCs that have a kiosk, maybe a cargo hold that's instanced? So, you know, it's instanced. That way you can't walk out with someone else's gear. I mean, is that what they're going to do? Like, if you don't log in for an extended amount of time, everything goes into impound, and that way it doesn't have to stream to all the other players that are still active in the community? I don't know, but CIG would have to create some type of storage facility to put all of your things if you don't pay your rent, wouldn't they? I don't know. Put it in the comments. What are your thoughts? How would CIG handle that if they're rentable and people don't log in or they can't pay? What happens? Okay, so in persistent universe design, they talked about how that supply and demand will work. So the more people that want to live there, the more it will cost. The more people that want to live the closer to the central part of town, the more expensive those will be.
So more than likely, they will not be instanced. I'm sure CR will want to have something, okay, if 5,000 people want to live on Hurston, and in particular Lorville, then there's, you know, maybe 5,000 apartments. You might have a closer apartment than I. CR might have the closest apartment, kind of thing.
I've got apartment 1138 way out on the outskirts.
Exactly.
So think about that for a second. Rentable habs and hangars, prices go up, some people get priced out. Could that mean that someone could abuse it? Okay, so Montoya, go ahead and click and watch some other video right now. Okay? Yeah, don't watch this. Because what if, like, Test came in and they just bought up everything because, you know, 17,000 members or whatever, and growing. I don't know, they might have more because, you know, they're fun. So what if they come in and they buy up everything, wait until other players want to buy there, scoop up the last remaining places out in the outskirts, and now everything's worth a lot more. And then they sell it all and move to some other planet and do the same thing. Now, CIG says that they're going to have some type of protection in place to where players and large orgs won't be able to manipulate it so much. But still, how? How would they, you know, how? But is that going to be a new profession? Real estate moguls?
Can we shake on this deal right now? Billion-dollar buyer.
Make it work with the plots of land as well. You go buy up some planet that's rich in some resource that they just introduced, and then wait until other players want to move in, and then all of a sudden, once the price is inflated, bam, you sell it and you move on somewhere else. Real estate mogul. Now fast forward, like, I don't know, 3 years, let's say, after the game comes out. 3 years. Starting players, like new people that come in, they're going to have to settle for, I don't know, one of 3 options as I see it. They could either be a nomad and travel around the verse earning credits until they're ready to settle down and have a fam. Or, number 2, they could choose a planet somewhere huge like Artcore with a giant city, or some other planetary body that has a place to stay and a whole lot of missions. They could just do a lot of missions in atmosphere, so that way they don't have to pay the refueling and repair costs of their ship. They could just go around, maybe use the pick up and drop off kiosks, do those type of missions within the same city or within the same planet. Or maybe you could buy a ticket to get off of that rock on a luxury cruise liner, staying in the engine room. Though, who knows what you might have to do aboard that ship. Just saying. The third thing is, since you can buy up to, what is it, $25 US in Alpha UEC each day, you could, as a new player, just buy a whole bunch of credits. And if you want to role play it, just pretend your character came from money. Oh, my family has money. They own a dealership. They own an Aurora dealership. So then they could just come into the game, use their credits they bought with real money, and then they could afford the hab and the hangar in the city they want to start in. So those are the three options I really see. What do you think in the comments? Let's discuss it. People are going to get priced out. How are we going to deal with that? How can it be abused? How can we make sure that Montoya doesn't see this video? Yeah. Anyway, no, he's a good man, good guy. And I'm glad he's safe after the hurricane, and props to him for going out and helping with hurricane relief. I lived through Hurricane Ike down in Houston. No power, no running water for 2.5 weeks. I get it. Good luck to everyone out there. Also, if you're going out to CitizenCon, bring some of this stuff up. Ask some of the devs. Find out what they think. Leave it in the comments. Tell me. I'm not going to be able to make it. I have to work. It's a weekday. Gather as much intel as you can. Come back. Leave me some more comments in the video. Let's have a discussion, backers. If you liked this and you enjoyed it, leave me a like. Also, share it with your friends and org mates. And remember to tap that bell and subscribe for more. And as always, I'm going to be looking for you out in the verse.